I drive my staff crazy because I never write down what I'm going to say, which makes their jobs easier, but it also makes me unpredictable. And it's been an interesting couple of days for me because, for one, what I will describe is amazing amount of civility in this room tonight. For those of you who are talking about that civility, I'd like to remind you that that was not always so. On this discussion, on these debates in the past, I have been asked demeaning, degrading, dehumanizing questions and had to listen to you describe me and my partner in terms that would almost make you worthy of someone coming over and taking you out. That's what I had to put up with in order to try to make the case that I am entitled to equality by my government. I'm familiar with religions. I'm familiar with the holy sacraments. I know what they are. I've had 3. I was baptized. I received the First Communion, and I have been confirmed as a member of the Roman Catholic Church. And you know what the next one that could be available to me? It's not called marriage, folks. It's called holy matrimony. That is the sacrament of the church, and not everyone is eligible for that sacrament. Now, if you're politically connected and you're a former mayor of the city of New York, you can probably get an annulment or 2 in order to be able to get that matrimony 3 times. But most people, most ordinary people, are only entitled to 1 sacrament of holy matrimony. I don't want the sacrament of holy matrimony. That is not what I want. What I want is a piece of paper from my government that is given out every day. And for those of you who say that we are redefining marriage, let me help educate you. Marriages have been defined in state governments since the beginning of this country. This is the body that defines who's eligible for marriage. It has always been so. It will always be so. If you want a religious institution, go to your religious institution. If you want to read a book and believe in that book and believe God tells you what to do with that book, knock yourself out. Do not throw that book in my face. It is intriguing to me because as I've listened to all of this, a senator from the House across the way who actually came out and said, I'm going to vote for this, has been the subject of death threats. And yet I listened to you complain that someone called you names? Somebody called you names? Have you ever been the subject of a gay bashing? Guess what? I almost was. 2004 in Providence, Rhode Island, on my way to the Democratic Convention. If I did not step in between these 2 20-year-old gay men, they would have been beat the crap out of by guys who were inside a bar. Has that happened to you? How about this? When you get to this body finally, and after spending 7 years as a public defender, knowing the way the criminal justice system, how about you take the position that you're opposed to the death penalty and get 170 letters from a Christian cult calling for my stoning? Did that happen to you? No, that didn't happen to you. That happened to me. Last night I saw some friends who told me that they were really upset that I called this marriage equality because they assured me there is no equality in marriage, okay? And they were all married, and they assured me there is no equality in marriage, and they pondered about why one would want this or one should want this. In the end, that's, I guess, a personal choice and a personal question that we all have to ask. I really hope that this becomes law. Not because after 31 years of being a bridesmaid, I'm entitled to be a bride. I certainly believe that. But that's not why. Because what I want to share with you at the end of this discussion is how difficult this is actually becoming for me. It is becoming increasingly difficult to accept the fact that I am your equal in this body, but you choose to say that I'm not your equal under the law. And I thought that I'd be able to handle that and take that a lot better than I realize I am. And so I want to end by thanking you all for the more civil tone than we've had in the past. But when push comes to shove, this is about equality. This is about whether or not I get to have what you have, and you've had 2 or 3 times, some of you, okay? Whether or not I get to have that, okay? And I think that I should. And if you don't think that I should, it is very difficult for me to find a place to respect you when you're saying I am less than you are. And there's been a lot of discussion about history in the past. I've gone on about history. I just want to correct something about the founding fathers. Under God was added to our Pledge of Allegiance in the 1950s in the McCarthy era. It didn't come back to the founding fathers. And I came across something today. I did bring a prop. And I thought how to best exemplify my political philosophy. And I found this piece of paper on my desk. And this is what it says. At 18 years of age, New Yorkers are considered emancipated, free to marry, vote, enter the workforce, and protect America's freedom by entering military service. And I thought to myself, am I an emancipated New Yorker? Yeah, I think I am. Okay. Am I free to marry, vote, enter the workforce, and am I free to enter military service? Well, I believe in all of those things. So I would like to thank the Conservative Party for articulating what my rights are. I'm just wondering when this body seems to be able to catch up. Thank you very much.